For me, one thing that is very important right now is the unity of our people. The NSAS protest exposed a lot of things, but I realize now that Ndibo are being made to live in a permanent state of anxiety. Why do I say that? When there is an issue, a national issue, when there is a quarrel, even within different groups, the Igbos pay for it. This has been our history. I don't understand the hatred. I don't understand the lack of appreciation and understanding and accommodation. But what I found to be most disturbing was the level of the disharmony, the type of people that I had a lot of respect for, who could go on national television and say Ndibo were the ones doing the attacking, they were in the mob, they invaded the Oba's palace, and these people knew that these things were lies. Where am I going? The ties between us cannot be broken. It's too deep. It's gone on for too long. I know what the Yoruba nation stands for. The Yoruba nation stands for good things, stands for good people, stands for accommodation, for friendliness, for neighborliness. And Ndibo stand for the same. Why can't these two groups of people ever get it together? I don't know. Maybe we need to talk about that. It's okay to say Ndibo should not listen to whomever. But at the end of the day, when poverty has been weaponized and troops in places that can be called upon to wreak havoc on another group of people, I'm not so sure we should leave it at that. I think we should take it further. And I also don't want to say that the Yorubas are the only ones to blame. The Igbos too have a share of the blame. And this we have to be very sensitive about one another, sensitive to one another. What am I saying? Please, let's not stop with this meeting. Let this be a continuous effort, especially when I hear it amongst young people. I am frightened. I live in a household that is mixed, and I know that every day on a regular basis, this bombardment of you are this and you are that and you are not this is what we're faced with. What can we do about it? This is the one issue that can ensure our survival or ensure our demise. Thank you. I love you very much. Ikwere people are actually from they're Aro people. I am an Aro woman. We live in the diaspora. Aro Chuku is our hometown, and Ikwere people are Aros. Please, they should go and check their roots and check history. These things are there for anyone to check. Why people don't want to identify with Ndibo and they want to change the names of towns in Ikwere land so that they don't sound Igbo. I can't answer for them, but I love them with the love of the Lord. They are good and wonderful people. And my hope is that this understanding begins now. Whatever has been said in the past should be kept in the past, and we begin a new chapter of a new relationship of appreciation and understanding for one another. Ndibo are not bad people. Yes, they can be boisterous. They can be noisy, as some people say, but they're very good people. So are the Yorubas. So are the core groups of people that make up Nigeria. It is those that want to weaponize ethnicity and use it as a way to keep this country down. They must no longer be allowed to succeed in doing that. And it behoves you and I, us as people, to begin to sow the seed of understanding and forgiveness. That's what we need to do for our sakes and for our children's sake. For God's sake, if we're going to go our separate ways, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's sit around the table and talk about it. There are international laws that cover such engagements, and it can cover us. Whatever investments in Igbo, Lagos does not belong to Igbo. We know that. Whatever investment belongs to Igbo, but we've helped to build up Lagos as we have done everywhere else that we are. That's just who we are. But Lagos is not ours. And if we have to go, we go. But there has to be a way to settle this matter in a way that everyone is covered. And you're not saying to Ndibo, we're now going to kill you and drive you out of a particular place and take over your property. No, that's wrong. That just should not happen. So Obibo, Rumibo, whatever anybody said, those are my brethren. And I love them as such. And I would never accept their hatred of me because of where I was born into, because I'm a woman, or because I am an Arab woman, or whatever, or because I'm married to Yoruba. Who knows what the prejudice is? I really think that we have to put these things aside. Hey, we are people who have something here. We are blessed. We're reasoning people. We're talented people. We're educated people. If you didn't go to school, you went to the school of your home, of your hometown, and what your parents taught you. And parents, let's begin to sow the seed of love and understanding amongst our children. I can put up with it with older people, but when I hear young people spout out such hatred, I lose hope in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for having me once again. And I saw my dear mommy speaking a short while ago. I caught the tail end of what she was saying, and it is a unique privilege and honor to be mentioned by somebody like Pa Ayo Adebanjo, a man I have not hidden my love for, neither have I tried to shy away from extolling his virtues and my immense admiration for his studiousness, for his truthfulness, for his fearlessness. He's a man that I respect. I wish we had someone like Pa Ayo Adebanjo in Ohanese or Pandev. Things won't be the way they are. I love him immensely, and he knows that very much. And I feel humbled that he was able to mention my name. And I also understand that Iba Gani Adams is here with us also today, and also Pa Fasuranti as well, a man that I have immense respect and admiration for. When I remember these men, when I remember Pa Ayo Adebanjo, I remember Gani Adams, Pa Fasuranti, these are the people that give me hope and reassurance that what obtained in the past is no longer going to happen. I am very, very pleased to be alive in this very generation, to be able to have such people lead the Yoruba nation, because I now know that we are all in safe hands and that the old divide and rule is no longer going to work. I believe in self-determination via the route of a referendum. There are people who may canvass for Nigeria to continue the way it is presently constituted. There are people who may even want to suggest restructuring. But we must bear one thing in mind. The same people that rejected restructuring in 1967 and 1968 are the same protagonists who are today still rejecting restructuring, by which I mean the British government and the Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate. They do not want it, they cannot grant it, because they think it will be detrimental to their survival or to their hegemonic tendencies within Nigeria. Therefore, I will recommend, or I will suggest personally, that people are entitled to hold whatever view they feel they are comfortable with. But for us, it is self-determination via referendum. And I do hope and pray that, who knows, one day our children may vote to have Oduduwa and the Biafra nation, one as a southern, whatever they may call it, I'm sure it's not going to be Nigeria, and to decide to run their lives the way they see fit. As I heard Mommy Onyeka when saying before I joined, she alluded to the fact that we share a lot of things in common. I think that most of the banter and perceived rivalry between the Igbos and the Yorubas is just something that obtains between Scotland and England. People just banter. They believe in competition. There is a healthy rivalry, but it would never, ever degenerate to the point whereby one evening you wake up and you hear that Yorubas are killing Igbo people in some part of Lagos. It will never happen. The same thing can never, ever happen in Igbo land either. But it is because we have allowed ourselves over the years to be controlled by forces hell-bent on dividing us, because they understand the game very well. Once we divide you, we conquer you. And once we conquer you, we set the narrative for you. And that narrative is that the Igbos and the Yorubas can never come together. And I'm sure that programs like this have, put a light to that. And I do welcome it immensely. Thank you very much, Dele. Thank you.
As Iba Ganadam said, I do respect divergent views and opinions because I am a Democrat, and I would like to reiterate that. One thing that comes across anytime this debate is had is the weak position from which the South is intending to, should I say, debate this restructuring of the thing. Restructuring cannot work because Nigeria has very faulty and shaky foundations. It cannot work because there are competing and divergent value systems. It cannot work unless we are deceiving ourselves. The borders are open in the north. They close semi-border, but the borders in the north are open for all manner of, very desperate and evil people to troop into the country, to rape, to massacre, to pillage. No one is talking about it. You're talking about disparity in terms of our concept, our understanding of how a society is supposed to function. I'm absolutely flabbergasted that some people that I have regard for in terms of the intellect can come on this platform and be debating how to keep Nigeria warm with all the inbuilt anomalies in place. You can't go to beg Fulani for restructuring. They won't give it to you. You have to price it away from them. That's what Ganadam is talking about. You need to take it away from them. They're not going to sit down and say, oh, come and take it. Ojuku went for restructuring and they said no. What makes anybody in their right senses think they can give it to you now unless you have a very equitable leverage to wield? Once you do not have that leverage, you cannot get restructuring. And that leverage is self-determination. Without it, you cannot get anything. It's high time to understand this, I'm absolutely shocked. Look at what's happening in Obibo. You want me to be in a country where a madman like Onyeka can get up in the morning and decide to slaughter people. And the slaughter is going, even right now, this very minute, people are being killed in Obibo. And you want us to somehow subscribe to this useless, corrupt entity called Nigeria. Who created Nigeria in the first place? Who created Nigeria? Let me ask you. Who did? Did any of these people now talking today, do you have any input as to where Nigeria is supposed to be? What is wrong with self-determination? What is wrong with referendum? In Britain, you have an autonomous Scotland, you have autonomous Wales, you have autonomous Northern Ireland, you have autonomous England. What is wrong with that, for goodness sake? Sometimes I'm shocked the way we reason in Africa. It is absolutely shocking. What is it? What is the incentive for anybody to subscribe to One Nigeria? I ask. There is absolutely none, none whatsoever. You are in a country where you have a people who they have this sense of entitlement. We have to determine what happens. You go to NNPC, it's only Fulani people there. You go to customs, only Fulani people there. You go to immigration, only Fulani there. You go to the army, the high echelon, it's only Fulani there. Air Force, Navy, oh, come on, for goodness sake. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Nigeria is unworkable. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But I do thank all of you who spent or who gathered today to give us, a snippet of your immense wisdom. We do appreciate it. I am not for restructuring. I am for the outright breakage of Nigeria, the same way we were before the white man came. And I make no apologies about that in any way, shape, or form. Now, there are people who may want to, for reasons of nostalgia, or kind of hankering back to the past. They saw 1960, people were out on the streets, they were dancing, they were making merry, there were high hopes for Nigeria. I can excuse them, but the reality today is that you have Fulani, a very virulent and dangerous Fulani Janjaweedism on the march. They want Ruga, they want to take our waterways. Oh, come on, Nigeria is unworkable, can never work, and will never, ever work. The best way for us is self-determination. If they feel that they have the superiority, so to speak, or they have the upper ground in terms of the validity of the argument, they should come out and debate with us. What is wrong with a referendum? If you claim that a majority of the people want to remain in one Nigeria, then let's have a referendum. Let's determine it once and for all. How come via a referendum, Atiku became a Nigerian citizen? Why should I not be allowed to exercise the same right that Atiku actually exercised before being allowed into Nigeria? What is wrong with that? I mean, these double standards I cannot understand. Let's cut to the chase. The only thing holding Nigeria together is the oil and gas in Biafra land. And for the sake of that oil and gas, Biafrans are being killed right now as I speak. Wike is carrying out his genocide in Obibo right now. The day we rise up in anger, misunderstand us. But right now that this genocide is happening, no one is doing anything about it. I cannot be in a country with people who do not see any evil, they hear no evil, and they condone evil. I cannot be in the same country. Heaven knows I cannot be in the same country with these people. If there is any need for us, I would prefer a situation whereby those of us in the South will get together and say enough is enough. And until we make that categorical stand, believe you me, this nonsense will continue. The South, the Yoruba, the Igbo, and of course, a very significant presence we have in the South should be able to come together to say enough is enough. You don't beg Fulani. If you beg them, they will drive you into your grave. We need to stand up and say enough is enough. If you don't do this, if you don't do A, we do B. As simple as that. Why should we beg them? Who are these people that were begging them? All the time is begging, pleading. And as Ganadam said, come 2022, they'll start talking about elections. They want to see the future of their children in Asorok running all over the place, either as SSA or as secretary to the government. All these debates about destruction will just go through the window. But our consistency over the years has proven time and time again that self-determination is the way to go. And there is one thing that will make it absolutely critical that we sustain this very drive, and that is the unity and camaraderie between the East and the West, between the Igbos and the Yorubas. And when we say the Igbo, that means encompassing everybody who's in the East, and of course, our Yoruba brethren in the West. Once we are together, believe you me, Fulani will panic, and they will give us what we want. If we are not together, we are repeating the mistakes of the past. And I pray to God Almighty in heaven that we do not do it. And on that note, I've come to the end of my submission this evening. I want to thank each and every one of you, and of course, there yourself, and all the very, very eminent personalities that grace this very program this evening. Once again, thank you very much. I remain blessed.